You drug me down to the bottom of the sea, like an anchor wrapped around my legs. I've never known a stronger love, but I would never fucking beg. No, I asked you to come with me. I told you to bring your fears. You brought more than I could handle. That was a long fucking year. I've never known feelings quite like that. It's like being a piñata, but baby, you are holding the bag. And you took off your blindfold and you struck as hard as you could. You muffled every sound that I could make, like I knew you fucking would. And you drug me down to the bottom of the icy sea. You weighted me down like an anchor around my legs and knees. And I'll never know a stronger love, but I would never fucking beg. I'd rather take your bullet straight to my head, 'cause you shot me dead and you shot me down. I'd rather take your bullet straight to my head, 'cause you shot me dead and you shut me down. And now I'll hunt your roots and I'll slam all of your doors. I'll make your new fucking bitch your end, and she'll remember my goddamn name and the game you played. And you'll always beg. You're always beg for me to forgive, baby, what you did. I'd rather take your bullet straight to my head, 'cause you shot me dead, then you shot me down. Yeah. The origin story is always kind of funny just because Hannah and I are sisters and we're like 11 years apart. She got good at guitar finally one day. Then I was like, hey, I can kind of sing. Let's see if we can do stuff. And she was actually in a school. It was like Hogwarts for like rich kids in Southlake, but who wanted to like learn instruments. And so she got really good really fast, and my mom put her like in jazz lessons, and then we started doing like open mics in Dallas, and people were like, wow, y'all's harmonies and all this stuff, and my very crude mouth, and Hannah just giggles on stage, and people were like, hey, y'all should really try to do something with it, and then it kind of just came from that.
Originally, if we really go back to, it's the lullaby for your kids. That's what our first song that we wrote together.
True.
We were like, oh shit, we
when
should
I was
do
going
this.
through divorce and a custody battle, I wrote a song for my kids. They were really little, and I was like, having a hard time with it because that's not fun. Being a stay-at-home mom and then having to split time is really hard, obviously, motherfuckers. And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna send you this and tell me what you can do with it. I guess people say it's because we're sisters and we have that like connection, but she knew exactly what I wanted without me even having to say anything, and we just kind of were like together. And then who was next? We had a percussionist named Christy. She was very cool, and because she was already pretty established in the music scene locally, it was easy to get, paying gigs and gigs that were like not just fun little open mics. And then Lydia Wells was our keyboardist for up until like 6 months ago, and she really brought a whole nother level. Having keys really took a lot off of Hannah, and Hannah could explore more musically her guitar skills. And then the next person who came was, she is actually a solo artist. Say your name.
Naomi.
I'm from Oak Cliff, so I always want to say like Noemi, and that's not right. But so then she came on board, which was huge. It really set us like way, way, way apart. At this time, our drummer had left, so it was a 4-piece again, and it was keys, cellist, guitar, and me. Then we had a female drummer named Marla Hegman come on. She was with the Blondettes. She's really dope. And she was great, but she had really a lot of stuff going on with her family, and her dad was very sick. So it's just kind of organically, she couldn't commit to it, and it was really stressing her out because she loved our music and wanted to commit so much, but couldn't. And in the interim, we were having James fill in. James, our new drummer, the only male that's ever been in the High Moons. And like, as soon as we announced it, I was like, I'm gonna get like at least 3 emails from guys being like, well. Remember when I wanted to be in your band and you're like, no, yeah, get rid of your testes and we'll talk about it. Another disappointing night, waiting for your Mr. Right. It's never gonna change for you. You'll never stop being his fool. You'll wait and wait every day. All you'll do is hope and pray for him to be what you need him to. He's never gonna do it for you. Yourself, it's getting better, but even you laugh at that lie. You know it won't ever get better, at least you're too numb to cry. You're on his time, but never on his mind. You'll never be number one, so leave him there. Turn and run. You gotta let him go. No good girl, you gotta tell him no. When he tries to be your whole world, you gotta get away. When he asks you, baby, stay, you gotta let him go. This hurt, it'll only harden your wounded heart. You know no one will ever compare, even those who truly care. It's a shame you fell oh so hard for a man who never had a heart. Maybe one day you'll forget his eyes. Maybe one day you won't want his lies. You gotta let him go. He's no good girl. You gotta tell him no.
I don't know. We never say that we have a genre. They're like, what's your genre? I have no idea.
There's no way to explain
It's
it.
just kind of like whatever we're feeling for that song. Like, I don't even know.
Because it starts off as one melodic thing from someone or a beat or whatever, and then all of a sudden it turns completely different.
Like,
just
I'm
one
hearing
melody.
a jazz beat and you're hearing a reggae, and then you do something weird, and I'm like, oh, that changes that. And like, I don't know. It's just kind of.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah, that's all it
it's a
really is, a vibe.
yeah.
I mean, all of the local music that we listen to really helped that. Being able to go to open mics and honestly picking out what I didn't like and what I did like personally, and being able to try different things is how Hannah and I at least came about. Because, you know, being 11 years apart, that puts a big gap as far as musical influences and things like that. But our dad he's Dr. Henderson. He has like his doctorate in music, and so he has always just fed us so much really good music, like XTC and like the Beatles. And
I was about to say, if we're gonna talk about like actual influences,
Yeah.
probably the Beatles, because they have such like a vast like
array of things. Even though
yeah.
our drummer does not really care for the Beatles.
Why do you have to bring that up?
Because I don't want it to
You're gonna hate
represent
on
you.
me now. It's not that I don't like the Beatles, and I'm not gonna say that I will not give them the credit that they deserve. I just feel like we should always give the credit to the people who are behind those great artists also.
I guess for me, like, I listen to their
like,
first album, and then I listen to like some of their later albums, and I'm like, ooh, wow, y'all sound totally and then like they went to India and they were like, let's add some of that shit in here. Like I just like how they're like, ooh, I like that sound, let's do that, but let's do this kind of sound. Ooh, let's do more of a rock.
You should never
feel
limit
here.
yourself. The reason why like I wouldn't put us in a certain genre is because you should never limit yourself to like, oh, we can only do this because that's what people expect of us. It's like, I think changing it up is neat. Like, I think someone's like, oh, okay, so it's that kind of band, and all of a sudden you have your next song and they're like, holy shit.
Let it go, it's never been your burden to bear. Don't feel bad, it's safer not to care. He would love you and leave you to go anywhere. He leaves you standing there. Let it go, it's never been your burden to bear. Open your eyes and see the chaos everywhere. He rides through you like a storm you can't control. He leaves you in unhealed